Hey guys, welcome back to the MagFed Ranch Paintball channel, and today I'm going to be doing another round of Q&A. But before I get into it guys, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and of course, share and comment at the end of the video. Okay guys, so I love doing these Q&As because obviously it gives me a chance to answer all your guys' questions and comments, so please definitely keep coming them in. That being said, I don't like reacting, I guess, or commenting or replying to your guys' comments online. The reason for that, guys, is, obviously I don't want to get into a whole, whatever, discussion on the YouTube video, right? It's just one of those things I don't really have time for. I'm going to be just honest with you guys. I work a lot, I'm super busy, so don't really get a chance to answer all the comments, and so I like doing these videos to do that. Now that being said though, however, if you guys want me to answer any questions that you directly have to us, please email me at info@magfedranch.com. Once again, that email is info@magfedranch.com, and I'll be definitely answering. I'll get back to you guys a lot faster with any questions, or concerns that you guys have, okay? So yeah, please do that moving forward. All right, guys, so this is gonna be another round. A lot of comments came in recently, so I wanted to get to them. So the first one is from Smoking Uncle Frank, and this was about a month ago on our how to disassemble and reassemble the Gryzen G-Mag video. And he states, all I can say about the G-Mag is it's crap. That metal clip that holds the case together is too strong and hard. It wears out the case and no longer stays in place. Had to use electrical tape to keep the damn thing from falling off. I prefer the OG mags for my M17. It's just too much BS involved to get them work properly. Yes, I agree with those concerns, and I can definitely see, if you're having to kind of disassemble and reassemble the G-Mags all the time, guys, that it can be a pain in the butt. Especially if you don't modify them to begin with, and they have a lot of jamming issues, a lot of feeding issues. You're going to get a lot of paint breaks in there, especially with the first strike rounds. And so you're going to end up having to clean them quite frequently. So first off, please go check out my video on how to modify the G-Mag so that way it's more reliable with first strike rounds. That will save you, obviously cut the time in terms of having to reassemble or disassemble all the time, which will obviously, lead to them not wearing as frequently. I agree with you as well, Smoking Uncle Frank. I think the OG mags or the 18-round, Valken mags are by far better, more reliable. So stick with them if you have to. However, like I said, the 11-round mags are good for a sniper, DMM position, if you're shooting in the prone or just from a lower position, right? Okay, next one is from Smoking Uncle Frank as well, and this is on the top 5 things to make the Valken M17 reliable. States, I don't care about full auto. I agree. I personally don't think full auto is very useful in real gameplay or obviously just playing in general. It wastes a lot of air. It's obviously going to make the accuracy less reliable. Just bam, 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 bam. It's obviously going to do that. Now, that being said, I think it's a cool, great feature. The fact that the M17 comes stock with it versus the T15, doesn't come with FA and as an option. I think that's cool. I think it's a cool thing to have. I'd rather have it than not have it. But I personally don't think, you should be using it, or I use it that much frequently. Shady's World responds to Smoking Uncle Frank, but obviously with the laughing, crying emoji, says, go away. Obviously, Shady's World likes full auto. So obviously, guys, Apple, whatever, right? You guys out there, hey, if you like using full auto, if you think full auto is realistic or useful in a real gameplay scenario, let me know what you guys think. All right, Smoking Uncle Frank comments again. Thanks for all the comments, Smoking Uncle Frank. And this was on our versus original Milsig M17 mag versus the current Valken M17 mag. He says, so I took apart my Valken M17 mag. There's a little curved piece in that fits underneath the winder. Can't figure out for the life of me how those mags are the worst design ever. Who in the hell decided to put a winder on them? And by the way, the mag works without that little piece of crap. What's it do anyways besides pissing people off when putting the mag together? I think the winding mechanism is good, guys, because a couple things. One, it makes the magazines easier to reload, and then 2, it keeps the magazine, the spring pressure tension off of the rounds. Now, granted, with first strike rounds, because the shells are are a little bit more hard than versus the normal paintball, right? Normal round ball. That doesn't end up being too much of an issue. However, when you're having your magazines on your vest or just stowed away and not in use, I would prefer that the spring tension isn't constantly pushing on the round. So that's kind of why I like the winder mechanism. But of course, it has its cons as well, right? It can potentially be another component that can fail. And then, of course, if you accidentally release the mechanism, whether it's in your pouch or just for whatever reason, it can just kind of shoot the rounds everywhere. So you got to be kind of careful of that as well. Okay. But like I said, pros and cons. That little piece under the winder is literally just a guide. How effective does it work? Like you said, it doesn't really need it for the magazine to function. Like I said, it's just kind of like a reinforcement guide for the magazine. Okay, Coach Guns commented on our Hammerhead one-shot rifled FSR 16-inch barrel review. It says, do you need a barrel adapter for the Hammerhead rifle barrels? Yes, you do. For the T15 barrels, you will need their, the little T15 barrel adapter. However, when you buy the Hammerhead barrels for the T15 markers, they come with it. So just make sure that you order the Hammerhead barrel for the T15 marker, and it'll come with the barrel adapter. If you're ordering it for the, obviously the M17, it's just a thread, right? It's an A5 thread, standard Tippmann thread, so you don't need the adapter. Coach Guns, question again. Sorry, I answered your question already, Coach Guns, but it says, or does the adapter come with the barrel? Yes, it comes with the barrel, as long as you order the Hammerhead barrel for the T15, okay? William Ness comments, you are missing the breach window, and this is on our MagFed modding, making the TIPX FSR capable with their long-range conversion kit. Yes, I lost the breach window a while ago, guys. Pretty sure I lost it on the field somewhere when I was out in the field having to disassemble and reassemble the marker. That being said, it's not really necessary, and I actually kind of like it because you can use it as kind of a hole to push out the round in the chamber when you go empty out the magazine and empty out the marker. So once again, pros and cons. Edgar Bosques, I think that's how I repeat it. I apologize, Edgar. Comments, I like your show, but I don't agree. When there's games where you play surreal, you want to switch to the pistol when you are in close environments, such as CQB, room clearing, or tight spaces. And this is a comment for our not MagFed worthy backup pistols are useless. Yes, yeah, there are times, Edgar, and I told you guys before, there are definitely times where a pistol can be advantageous, right? CQB, tight situations where you're kind of moving around a barricade, a wall, an obstruction, the pistol is definitely more maneuverable. Also, obviously, if you run dry in a CQB situation, sometimes drawing a pistol versus having to go with the reload is a lot faster. However, in the context of gameplay, team gameplay, like I was telling you, when you're really playing well in kind of a small fire team situation, we rarely ever had to transition to our pistols in a CQB situation or in a firefight situation. Like I said, if everyone is doing their part, by the time, that threat becomes a threat, your teammate is taking them out. And like I said, ultimately at the end of the day, a rifle marker is still going to be way more accurate, and you can put rounds on target just because you're more steady and more accurate with a rifle. But like I said, guys, that video that I shot was to obviously just kind of like make a case for not using a pistol. So I was obviously making an argument for that, but there are definitely times that you can make an argument for having a pistol. Steve Z, yeah, I got a few of them. They're as good as the higher dollar one I bought in the past. Oh, and this was a comment on our Sightmark Ultrashot M-Spec review, guys. I think that's a great sight, guys. You know, it's a really good holographic replacement. So, like, if you guys want an EOTech type of clone sight on your markers, I think the UltraShot M Spec is one of the best out there. Now, that being said, guys, go check out that review, but it's not an actual holographic sight. It's a red dot, but just kind of, you know, I guess, cloning or portraying itself as a holographic sight. But yeah, really great sight. Four Deuce commented on our Mark 18 Mod O paintball marker clone video, tabletop review, says, never seen a crane mounted on top before. Yeah, guys, so obviously, you know, one of the cons of using an FSR adjustable riser, and then if you use another, you know, kind of mid-mount red dot sight, you know, mount on top of it, it just sits really high on top of the marker. So it looks kind of like this big obstruction, you know, a monstrosity on top of your marker. But guys, like I was saying, the reason for that is because, you know, nowadays you want a more upright position when you're shooting, instead of kind of the old school, like having your neck all the way kinked over when you're firing. It's just more natural. It's just more, you know, your body's more relaxed and more able to fire correctly and be less fatigued. And then also the pragmatic reason is, of course, when you're wearing the goggles, you're not going to be able to see the red dot or the reticle of the scope, because the your goggles is going to get in the way, and you're not going to be able to properly line your eye up with the scope or the sight. Johnny Mouse commented on the top 5 things we hate about the Tippmann TIPX video. He says, thank you, sir. Very helpful. Yeah, guys, I'll be honest with you guys. As great as the Tippmann TIPX can be, you know, great way to get into MagFed. Although, like I said, that video, guys, I kind of revealed kind of all... I kind of debunked some myths, right? The pistol isn't that affordable anymore, and it has a lot of issues. It's not FSR capable out of the box. You know, I think just going to a rifle marker at this point, especially like an M17, or if you can get a used DMF or a used T15, I think is much better just in the long run. The pistol is great as a backup, certain scenarios here and there, but I just don't think the TIPX is, you know, is a good start for most beginners. Smoking Uncle Frank commented on that same video, the top 5 things we hate about the TIPX. It says, maybe for paintball, the TIPX sucks, but for less lethal, it rocks. Yeah, I think, once again, you know, if the pistol is working great, just same thing with like the FSC or some of the other pistols, guys. I think it's a great option for less lethal. Now, that being said, like I said, me personally, I think, you know, just a normal hopper-fed paintball marker, you know, with a buttload of freaking pepper balls in there, or a buttload of rubber rounds, or just, you know, obviously less lethal rounds, it's way more firepower than a 6-round, 7-round TIPX pistol. That's just my opinion, guys. Obviously, the TIPX pistol is handy. It's small. You can store it somewhere safe, just like any, you know, firearm. But I just think a regular hopper-fed marker is better for less lethal situations. But that's my opinion, guys. Street Cleaner responded on the Q&A Round 2 Part 2 video. Says, in a perfect world, I would only use FSRs. However, price and places to use them factor into this equation. Unfortunately, there's nothing like them, well, except for the real thing. I might add that playing MagFed, especially markers like the T15 and MCS 468, which are like one-to-one, like a real AR-15, makes it much more realistic. And you're running your vest and battle belt and mags and everything else you need. You fight like you train. Yeah, guys, I mean, that's what we love about MagFed markers, right? Street Cleaner, right? It's, you know, MagFed gameplay, right? It's about the closest thing you can come to, you know, real life, you know, Call of Duty, real life training, real life scenario, compared to, I guess, you know, like I said, besides simulation. But like I was telling you guys, even simulation, it has a limitation of distance, right? The FSR rounds can fire way further than simulation can. Now, guys, hey, you simulation actual users out there, right? Military, police. If you guys have videos of simulation reaching, you know, past 60 yards, 80 yards accurately, I'd love to see them. I'm sure our viewers out there would love to see them as well, but I doubt the simulation rounds can shoot that far and accurately, you know, past 60 yards, 80 yards. So FSR is still more realistic in that respect. And yeah, I mean, yeah, there definitely are fields that don't allow them, but if they do allow them, and I know MagFed only events always allow them, guys, definitely use them, okay? Alan Wallace responded, or commented on the unboxing of the newest gen First Strike T15 video. He says, just use First Strikes, no breaks and deadly accuracy. Hey, Alan, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm pushing for First Strike only when it comes to MagFed gameplay. I think that's what we all should be pushing at as a community. It's really what showcases our MagFed markers the most. It really showcases the realism compared to any other gameplay. Like I was telling you, I don't care if it's simulation, I don't care if it's freaking airsoft. MagFed paintball with First Strike rounds, and especially if they're accuratized, match grade rounds, they are by far the most realistic gameplay that I know of and that I can think of. I mean, you guys out there, if there's a more realistic gameplay out there, you know, why don't you guys tell us? But I can't think of any other one. Street Cleaner commented again, and this was on our reshoot of the 80-yard accuracy test of our MR12 Mod 1 marker. States, I have a SAR-12C with the Supremacy scope. How does your M12 differ? 70 to 80 yard shots are not a problem when wind conditions are right. I don't use a tilt riser mount like the HHA optimizer or the First Strike model that's on the DMR, but I'm looking into getting one for those 90 plus shots. Okay, so how our MR12s and also just in general all our MagFed markers here at MagFed Rancher different, guys, is that we go about obviously upgrading them so that way they're more First Strike capable, right? So that's rifle barrels, right? That's the risers with the scopes. It's like a real AR, guys. You know, you want the most accurate barrel possible. You want a good optics system, whether that's a red dot or a crossbow reticle scope, right? So that way you can identify the target at a further distance. You can get consistent target shots at further distances. And then, of course, with the riser, you can obviously adjust the holds so that way it's easier for you to get those, you know, distance shots at the further distances. And then, of course, lastly, it's about the rounds themselves, right? You need to match your grade your ammo, right? Which means obviously inspect every First Strike round and make sure that they're consistent from shot to shot, okay, guys? So, like I said, match grade ammo. So all those things, like I said, like a real rifle, guys, will lead to better accuracy and better consistency, okay? So it's a system, right? It's a whole package. All right, Dalmaze85 commented on the MagFed myth-busting video on the new generation T15. Does it need to be modified? He says, keep up the good work, bro. Just got my T15. First one in Australia, I believe. You're going to be my go-to source for info from now on. Hey, thank you so much, Dalmaze85. That's what I love to hear, guys. Let's continue pushing MagFed paintball to different countries, to different areas. Keep supporting one another out there, and let's just keep pushing it. Hey, Dalmaze85, if you have any more questions or comments, definitely feel free to comment on the videos, or you can email directly, once again, right at info@magfedranch.com. Mr. Montage commented on the MagFed Mythbusting Does Length Matter video. He says, so cool. Thanks, Mr. Montage. He comments again on the 40-yard accuracy test of our MR12 Mod O marker. He says, how did you make this? It's the best looking marker I've ever seen. Thank you, Mr. Montage. Yeah, I mean, the MR12 series of markers, right? In essence, they're the clone markers of the, the real Mark 12 markers, guys. I agree with Mr. Montage. They're one of the most beautiful markers, beautiful rifles out there. Iconic look, obviously highly accurate in real life. And the marker clones themselves are highly accurate, guys. So yeah, I love those series of markers. I love the shorties as well too, but it's just something to be said about a DMM paintball marker that's capable of, accurate 80 yard shots and more, right? Justin Hale, these nuts. Oh, that's a great name. Commented on the top 5 things we hate about the Vulcan M17. Says, I literally called Valken and spoke with their technical support. I explained how the smaller 11-round paintball magazine was needed. I explained multiple reasons why it was needed, not just for paintball, but also for home defense M17 builds. After speaking with Valken technical support, the guy suggested that I write an email and send it to Valken customer support. So that's exactly what I did, but so far it appears to have fallen on deaf ears. Valken's reason for not producing the smaller magazine anymore, I was told, is because they figured people wanted more paintballs in their magazines rather than less. Please send them an email explaining why you also want the smaller magazine brought into production. I'm still looking for some myself. So far, I've only seen them for sale on Mexican paintball websites. Okay, yeah, I mean, thank you so much for Justin doing that. Justin, hail these nuts. I think I will send an email, or at least send them a comment as well too. Reach out to them. Hey guys, everyone in the community, let's like I said, let's not obviously hound them in a negative way, all our paintball manufacturers out there, but let's go show them that, we want more products, we want different magazine options, we want different marker options. So best thing we can do is email, call them, bug them. But then at the end of the day too, let's also support them with our money, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what's gonna make them do it or not, is they have to see a demand for it financially. But obviously give them the feedback as well. It's like, hey, this doesn't work well, or this doesn't work well, right? And then, if they're a good company, they should fix it. Octowatt. So yeah, Octowatt. This he commented on my TIPX Hammerhead rifle barrel versus non-rifle barrel. He says, I'm not convinced. I think there were too few shots conducted, and you complained about the air source. Borrow a remote line TIPX hooked up to a compressed air tank and chrono at 280 for each barrel test. Over the years, I have felt the rifle barrel hype doesn't often equate to discernible value. My sidearm doesn't get unholstered until I'm out of ammo, or there's a unique CQB moment that calls for a compressed stance. Because I am not a pistol player only, I have chosen to let this expense pass. I run stock barrel on my T8, my TIPX, and my FSE. And for my T15s, I do run a rifle barrel, but that can use as well. A Nemesis barrel over 10 inches, and you are rolling the dice on crap. The owner of Karmatech Engineering has bleeped the community by releasing wrong twist rate barrels, manufacturing defects that put a visible curly Q pigtail spin at distance. So many people have complained that the 14-inch and longer barrels suck. My 14-inch Nemesis barrel sucks. I have listed this thing for sale. When people have contacted me to ask if it's still available, I don't respond. How can I sell someone something that I know is faulty? I should ask Dave at Karmatech Engineering how he does it. Wow, that's a lot of info, Octowatt. Yes, I took your advice. Like I told you guys, go check out my video of me installing the remote line adapter on my TIPX. So I am switching to compressed air, so that way I can shoot those videos for you guys. So watch out for those videos. Pistol player, like I told you guys, it's I'm not hating on it, but I told you guys, it's just one of those things that's just you kind of use for very rare circumstances. And then in terms of the Nemesis barrel, guys, I've never tested a Nemesis barrel myself personally. I definitely plan to using that in the future. I love the Hammerhead barrels, so just letting you guys know, I can stand by. I can attest to the Hammerhead barrels. All the different links have shown definitely a significant increase in accuracy and precision, as you guys can tell from my videos. And like I told you guys, as the barrel lengths increase, they definitely get tighter and tighter groups. Now that being said, once again, you have to pair these up with match grade FSR rounds. If you're just using random FSR rounds out of a case, I told you they're super inconsistent. So that accuracy and precision will diminish. But yeah, guys, I will try to test some Nemesis barrels for you in the future, and then I'll kind of compare, hopefully see if Octowatt, has a valid case. I don't disbelieve him, but obviously I want to show you guys myself, okay? Low-P commented on the MagFed myth-busting, what is the distance of the TIPX-0 with FSR, states, or asked, besides First Strike, who makes quality finned paintball rounds, FSRs? And then DRC Paintball commented to that, his comment says, no one, including First Strike. FSR is made by Perfect Circle. So yeah, so guys, if you guys didn't know already, First Strike just recently got bought out. And I think it's Perfect Circle, the company that DRC Paintball is referring to, that bought them out. And I'm sure even before then, they were probably owned by, some like corporation, right? The First Strike was probably just the brand name. and they probably had another, like, entity that actually owned them. But yeah, as far as I know, that company, whether it's Perfect Circle or whoever makes the First Strike rounds, they are the only ones that make the First Strike rounds, as far as I know. Okay. 18 SHFBT commented on the top 5 things to make the T15 reliable with First Strike. Says, do you know if the builder kit for the T15 comes with the most current generation? And if I'm going to go for a flush look with the handguard hammerhead barrel with the Hammerhead M50 suppressor, how long of a handguard would I need to get if I'm trying to use a 12-inch or 14-inch hammerhead barrel? Please respond at your earliest convenience. Okay, I will look into this for you, 18 SHFBT. Hey, go ahead and shoot me an email at info@magfedranch.com, and then I will dig into that a little bit and then hopefully give you an answer after I find out the dimensions of all the stuff that you're looking for, okay? Daniel Perez commented on the how to install a sling on the T15. Says, here's a tip. Just attach 2 points of the sling to the T15 sling mount for a 1-point sling setup. It's better for putting to the side when using a sidearm, since with 2 points it tends to move in a weird ways due to the weight of air tank. Daniel Perez, there's a lot of people that have their opinions on whether a 1-point, 2-point, or 3-point sling, which one is better, which one's more effective. Obviously, you can make a case for each one in different scenarios. Me personally, and I know a lot of people, obviously in the firearm community and just in general, are going, swear by the 2-point slings, because obviously it kind of gives you the best of both worlds of a 1-point and a 3-point, especially a 2-point sling that's adjustable. Okay, so there's so many videos out there, guys, of of the pros and cons of all the different mounting systems for a sling. So go check those out. But like I said, I swear by the 2-point. The 1-point sling is great, for I think it's just a very fast CQB run and gun type of setup. But it doesn't really sit in a very secure way. It kind of flops around. It kind of hits you in the man junk as well too when you release it. So like I said, it has its cons as well. Octowatt responded on the not MagFed worthy CO2 12-gram cartridges for the TIPX pistol video. It says, love it, sir. Yeah, Octowatt, like I said, I took your advice, and I want to give you guys good, consistent results out there, so I'm switching to compressed air on the TIPX here. Just Zach commented on the same video, the CO2 12-gram cartridge video. Says, yeah, I just used the T4E Glock 17 and it works fine. GoPro malfunctioned, so I didn't get any footage. Hey, Just Zach, hey, if you get more footage of you shooting that Glock 17 paintball marker, please, load it up and let the community see it. But like I said, I don't like, unfortunately, the Glock, the SIG, the Walther markers, because they shoot the .43 caliber paintballs, and the accuracy and the distance with those rounds are just not really good. So I like the .68 caliber options. Like I said, the paintball marker pistols, I definitely think they can use a huge improvement from the factory, but with what we have right now so far, the TIPX and the FCS is probably the best two out there. Okay, Octowatt responded on that same 12-gram cartridge video as well. He says, I find the rise in FPS once the marker has been cleared for 280 feet per second is due to the temperature rising as the game day progresses. Hitting the field at 10 a.m. with 280 FPS, reading at 55 degrees may yield a 290 feet per second reading as you come off the field for lunch at 1 p.m. and now it's 70 degrees in the sun. I had my GoPro running as I walked off the field for lunch and said to myself, let me check my FPS to make sure I'm shooting honest. As I approach the chrono machine, first shot, alarms goes off. This thing happens even when using an HPA tank, so any propellant source will be subject to FPS creep as the temperature rises. CO2 certainly is the dirty source of propellant for all the reasons you mentioned. I choose to run it in my sidearms regardless. I don't like remote lines, and if my archer shoots inconsistently and I don't know how to fix the problem from watching YouTube, I'll use a local business to service my markers. Stingray Divers, represent. I love that you said you promote First Strike use over round ball. That song can't be loud enough. Everything is more fun each time you only shoot FS rounds. Keep it up. Yeah, so just answering your questions or your comments, Octowat, in no particular order. First strike rounds, guys. First strike rounds. Let's keep pushing first strike only for MagFed gameplay, okay? In terms of CO2 versus compressed air, you know, I haven't had any weird temperature fluctuations with compressed air, at least not as much so with the CO2, but I totally agree with you, Octowat, on the CO2 temperature. Like I said, it's a liquid that has to convert to a gas, and so temperature is going to be a huge part of that. And when the CO2 converts from a liquid to a gas, it starts to get colder, it freezes up. And so it just, like I said, you know, without getting scientifically into it, it just creates a lot of just consistency issues. So I'm glad to move away from CO2. Zeth Akadi stated on the top 5 things we hate about the Tippmann TIPX video states, I own the TIPX and I remember it was a huge leap forward to have a pistol like it when it first came out. First strike rounds weren't even a thing if I recall correctly, so asking for FSR functionality out of the box is reaching. Having said that, what would be the alternative? After 10 plus years, what would be the paintball pistol that outperforms the TPX consistently? Yeah, Zeth, that's a great question. Unfortunately, there isn't that many. Like I was commenting on, you know, Zach's comment, unfortunately, you know, besides the FCSC and the older T8s, there really isn't that many pistol options in 68 caliber. So, you know, like I said, guys, we need to continue supporting the MagFed community, market, brands. We need to, you know, just push the manufacturers to give us more options so we have other pistol options. And then as far as FSR capability out of the box, I mean, shoot, everything is FSR capable out of the box nowadays when it comes to the rifle markers, right? Yes, you know, the Stormer markers, the, you know, the Tippmann TMCs aren't, but those are, you know, relatively affordable rifle markers, right? Around 200 something bucks. The TIPX is approaching $300, $350 now. For that cost, you would be able to think that they should include the FSR bolt, chamber, and everything in that package, because if you add the long-range conversion kit on the TIPX, that's another $100. You're looking at a $400, $450 marker now. You can get a rifle marker at that price at that point. So I think we need to improve. I think Tippmann needs to improve. Get us a better pistol marker out there. Parsendi Pididipius, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, but he commented on the top 5 things we hate about the First Strike T15. How do you suggest they correct the barrel issue? They have already made it easier than ever to switch between FS and round ball. The only correction I could see is changing the whole design to a threaded FS only setup, which ruins the whole idea of such a simple interchange. Well, guys, if you watch that video about the top 5 things I hate about the First Strike T15, one of the things I hate is the fact that it's hopper capable. Like I said, we should just eliminate the hopper feed capability on our MagFed markers in general. And I know some of you guys say, oh, hey, Twan, you know, that's not a good idea. You know, some people want to play round ball and be able to switch back and forth. But, guys, MagFed gameplay, to me, is where it's at, especially with first strike rounds. I think hopper fed doesn't belong on a MagFed marker. You want to play hopper fed, go get a hopper fed marker. That's going to honestly be cheaper and probably perform just as well or even better than the MagFed marker, because the MagFed markers are not designed to be using a hopper. And I'll be honest with you guys, the hopper, you know, performance on out of our MagFed markers isn't that great. So I get it. It's good to have it in a pinch, you know, if you're going to an event and you want to be able to switch back and forth. But like I said, we need to promote the MagFed gameplay with first strike rounds if we want to see this sport grow. And that's my honest opinion, and I really think that's what's going to make this sport blow up. Okay, and then in terms of, yes, they did fix the barrel situation with the new generation T15 by including that new barrel adapter, so that way it eliminates the wobble. Okay. Mopi commented on the same video, top 5 things we hate about the T15, states, it's an ICD cat-style blowback, not spider. And not to be nitpicky, but can you please stop doing that tongue click thing? It's horribly loud in my headphones. I apologize, Mopi. That's just kind of a habit I have. I definitely have noticed it, even, you know, in my very early videos and on now. So I'm really working hard at not doing that. but it's kind of like one of those kind of bad body habits, right? Like, you know, biting your nails, or like, you know, like, I don't know, just like, you know, just kind of a bad habit, right? Like, you know, scratching yourself if you're nervous or something like that, right? In terms of the ICD cat style blowback, hey, thank you so much for clarifying that. I honestly didn't really know what the exact terminology was, so, you know, I was just, like I said, appreciate you clarifying that it's not a spider, but an ICD cat style blowback. Fallout Mandalorian commented on the post I just recently did, where it says, thank you so much to our very first customer, you know, on the Sopmod Block 2 clone marker. He stated, your customer service has been an absolute best I've ever had with a paintball company before. Keep doing great things. Yeah, guys, hey, you know, one of the things I can't stand is when people don't get back to you, right, or respond to your email or something like that. So I try my best to get to you guys. Obviously, these videos is one of the reasons why I do it, so that way I can try to react and answer to your comments and questions. But like I said, guys, once again, this is the last comment, so if you have any questions or comments that you want answered directly and as fast as possible, email them to me at info@magvedranch.com. But of course, please keep continuing commenting on my videos and future videos. That way it keeps the engagement high, guys. It keeps the, you know, the MagVed content just keep pushing out there on the algorithm. So yeah, I appreciate all the comments, guys. If you guys like this video, hit that, you know, like button, and I'll check you guys the next time. Peace.